is a monster in weed. Augie's out there. I'm going up the house. I gotta get my drone. But I'll tell you this much. If we would have been able to cut this whole entire field in the end right away, it wouldn't take us very long. Because we just done 100 acres in like 2 hours. 3 hours, actually. Yeah. X9s are monsters. Slacking on videoing everything this spring. It's been a rough year. Woke up this morning, went and planted corn, and then I come down here and now I'm cutting wheat. I mean, I ain't never done this before. Dad's in Colombia, so yeah, anyways, we're cutting wheat. It's not doing too bad. This field's a little droughtier. Don't mind this. I ain't got it set. I'll mess with that in the spring. These X9, or in the fall, these X9s are hammering, I will say that. I am so glad that we have them, especially for a year like this year where we was wet all the way up until now. Now the problem is we're worried that our beans aren't going to come up because there's no rain in the forecast. So we're trying to get as much of the wheat cut as quickly as possible, so then that way we can come in while there's still moisture in the ground and plant the beans, the double crop beans behind it. But sadly, as many of you probably may know, it doesn't always work like that. But yeah, we're trying. We've had trucks running in and out of here like crazy. This thing alone is probably pumping around 2,000, 2,200 bushel an hour. Augie's probably doing about the same. He's a little slower than me most of the time, so probably doing a little less. But yeah, definitely very impressed with this machine. We had the one and loved it last year, so we said screw it, why not, let's get another one. So we got another one. Johnson grass, gotta love it. And this head, I'm still loving this thing. This is one of them fields that you always struggle with to harvest. So many terraces and stuff in it. Terraces, washouts. I mean, it's a smooth one compared to one of our other farms. It's pretty smooth and pretty easy to drive across. It's just the fact of the matter that there's so many stuff to keep it to where you can drive across it. But yeah, so anyways, we're plucking away. We got the hopper extensions put on this one today, so they're on top. You can kind of see them up there. So this combine is the 1000 X9000. The other one's the 1100. The 1100 comes factory with like a 480 bushel grain tank or something like that. So you only need 50 bushel to get it to 540, I think is what it is. Yeah, it's something like that. And then this one has the capacity to be able to hold 540, but you have to put the extensions on it once again to get it to the extra mark. So I don't know. I mean, this one's got 150 bushel hopper extensions on it. So if somebody wants to do the math on that, they can, to get it to the 540. And it has been so much better today having the hopper extensions. Every bit of wheat that we've run so far, I hadn't had them yet. But we've been stop and go, messing with other stuff and trying to plan everything. And yeah, so here's like this year, very difficult, fighting with weather and everything else. I mean, it's been anything from windy to just wet and whatever. So been a year, but at least we've had a really good wheat crop so far. Jimmy's over there planting on the other side of the trucks, and Ross. Yep, gonna keep moving forward. Yes, I know the sample's dirty, but I'm not buying the $20,000 concaves that it takes to clean the sample up. In case you was wondering, that's what it takes to clean wheat sample up. You can do it some, but at some point you just gotta quit messing with it. Well, that's it for wheat harvest. Probably got a little bit clean up right there. So anyways, we just finished up planting wheat, or cutting wheat. So now we are going to go back to Emerson and finish replanting corn. And then gotta go to Russellville, plant the field. So anyways, it's all wheat harvest road. That was quick and easy. So this one is very odd because I've never seen it. None of my agronomists have really ever seen it either. Or one agronomist, Gabe's dad, my buddy, he has. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at some kind of a different species of an aphid, and they are calling it a corn aphid. So you can see all the larvae in there that's dropped, and sometimes you can see a little bit of the bugs flying around, but this one's dead, it looks like. But I'm not really sure on that either. But you don't see them flying around in there like what you have in the other, like what I have in the last couple fields I've been in. But I mean, it's just completely ravaging this corn. So yeah. Anyways, I gotta get all this stuff sprayed. Hopefully today or tomorrow morning they'll be able to get sprayed. But I mean, like out here in this stuff that isn't tasseled, you can see it a little bit down in there. But this is up here against the road. This is sat underwater, so yeah, have to get it sprayed and go from there. But the problem is this cornfield here is tasseled. The larva was dead in this field. It's moved over to this side of the road and is, yeah. So this side ain't tasseled yet. I mean, it is, but what isn't tasseled isn't tasseled. So I gotta figure out how to get it. What a mess. This year's just the year that keeps on giving. Well, tonight I got a little bored. So anyways, I got a toolbox in my truck, obviously. It's a weather guard toolbox, and I decided that I needed to have some lights in it. So I took and I put some lights in a toolbox. So in this toolbox, obviously I got my sockets and all my other random notorious stuff. I got wrench bags on the other side over there. Haven't figured out how to put them up here so they're easily accessible yet. So I put these little lights in here. It's all wired into a Milwaukee battery. And I got a whole thing of Milwaukee batteries underneath my back seat, so it's not like I'm ever gonna be out of batteries. So I threw all that in there. But yeah, and then the other day I also put this little thing in there. Little like mat. So then that way all my tools and stuff don't get all gummed up. I've had problems with that. But yeah, anyways, got my 3/8, my 1/2 inch. This stuff, bobble sockets, which granted they're the cheap ones, they're from Harbor Freight. You know, I didn't really want to spend all the money on snap-ons, but whatever. So yeah, just simple little flip of a switch on Milwaukee battery. Now, I haven't mounted this yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to put it like right there, kind of like that, or what I'm going to do with it yet. I haven't decided, but I'm sure I'll get it figured out eventually. Probably end up being something like that, so then that way it's right there and all you gotta do is flip it on and off. But we're coming up on harvest, and I got thinking about it. I was like, you know, I really need to have some lights in my toolbox because I can't see anything. Good thing about these is if you're working on something behind your pickup, you can turn them up a little bit, or you can turn them back down for your, you know, really you can just leave them like that even. So yeah, pretty creative and intuitive thinking, I thought, on my part, but it is what it is. And got my little sprayer right there, my Milwaukee boxes with all kinds of other stuff. And so they're in here at the elevator today. Connor and Jimmy are plastering the roofs on bins. So anyways, I'm gonna go look at corn. They had a hailstorm go through last night over by one of our farms that kind of worried we got hit, but I don't know, haven't seen any Snapchats yet, so that's always a good sign that nobody's seeing a Snapchat of your cornfield. So we're gonna go check that out and see what's going on over there. Me and Dad went and looked at a couple trucks this morning, didn't find anything really to die for, I guess. Found a couple good ones, but at the end of the day, we aren't looking for the $100,000 Peterbilt T600 or whatever it is, you know, whatever, I don't know. Anyways, we had a truck flip over during wheat harvest, so I don't have any desire to go and spend a bunch of money on a truck for somebody to drive and potentially flip, you know. That's a pretty big investment. Most of the time with insurance, you aren't going to get all your money back out of a truck that you go out and spend like money on something like that, you know. Some of them nicer trucks, some nicer Kenworths or Peterbilts, most of the time they're pretty expensive. So we try to stick to normally the cheaper trucks. The Volvos have turned out to be pretty good for us. We had a couple Freightliners. The last 3 Freightliners that we bought, we kind of decided we want to stay away from them. So we're trying to go with more Volvos now, because we had a Volvo that was really nice. It stayed really nice, and the dash don't bust apart on it like what they do in the Freightliners. The Freightliners, all the dashes bust up in them, so we're trying to avoid that, and yeah. So we'll just have to see what happens.